What's going on? Welcome back to Kicking It With. My name is Zac Holcomb. Today on episode 9, we are joined by Bryan Hanks. Welcome to the show, Bryan. How are you, man?
Power to the people.
Yes. You're one of the big names I had on my wish list as soon as I was like, let's get back into this. And we sat there for a day and we put together a whole list of people. And you're definitely in the top 5 that we were like, let's make it happen. So
I'm extremely honored. I'm extremely honored to sit with one of the, probably in the last 10 years, you've made as strong an impact and as positive an impact on our city as anybody has. And I mean that. If not number one, you're definitely in the top 3. So it's my honor to be on your show.
For sure, man. I appreciate that. For sure.
Wait a minute. I forgot. Hold on. I got to do.
We should go the whole episode like that for sure. I like that.
Yeah. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're in.
In honor of you, Zach.
I like that a lot. We'll have to, I'm telling you, that's definitely going to be a good one. Well, cool, man. I want to get you on. You're probably, I would say, the most successful podcaster in the whole town. Oh, yeah? Because I equate your show like that. It is a podcast, and you're killing it. How many episodes?
I was telling
700 and something.
Young Jordan over here, I think we're up to 743 as of today. So our 3-year anniversary will be December the 2nd.
I was going to say, I knew you were coming up on the 3-year because right when I moved here was like when you and Junius both made this big splash of putting together all this extra fun stuff. And I remember very early on catching them and listening to them. And I learned a lot about a lot of people in this town by listening to your show. So
I'm telling you, you couldn't have anybody better than Junius Smith III. And I know you did an episode with him recently. And I'm telling you, dude, nobody I don't know where we're going with today's interview, but I love opening it with him because I can tell you, I've been in this industry or been in media, in newspapers or websites or now radio since 1991.
Gotcha.
Nobody outworks Junius Smith III. Maybe you. I was about to say, maybe you. Junius is he's a hard worker. He's you know him, very sincere, works his butt off. Nobody outworks him. People used to tell me, I was a sports editor when I got here in 2002, from 2002 to 2008, and a lot of people said, oh, you're the best sports editor that's ever came through the free press. I have a big ego, so I loved hearing that.
Like, absolutely,
of course.
Thanks.
And then I hired Junius Smith III.
Nice.
And I can proudly say, with swallowing my ego and putting everything aside, he's the best sports person that has ever come through Kinston and Lenoir County.
Is that how you ever? Is that how you ever? That's how you met up with Junius? Was through that hiring, or did you find him somewhere else?
No, through the free press.
Okay.
Would you believe? And I apologize, I haven't had a chance to watch his appearance here on your show yet,
Sure.
So I don't know if he told you this or not. But I hired him as a government reporter.
What?
He was a government reporter for the Kinston Daily Free Press and did an outstanding job.
Shocking.
Won awards doing that. He left us, went to the Associated Press down in Atlanta for a few months.
What?
You didn't know this?
He didn't tell us any of this. He didn't elaborate at all like this. He was like, I wrote stories in high school when I was playing video games. I'd wake up the next morning and write a story on the game, and then he was like, and I'm doing ENC moments. I was like,
no.
He didn't give us any of that. I had no clue about
Let me give you the book on Junius Smith III.
Expose Junius for every...
No, this is good, though. Good exposure.
No, expose him for all the good things.
Exactly. But he came, he worked for me at the Free Press. He left us, went to Atlanta to work for the Associated Press. Mm-hmm. And not that I'm trying to get maudlin here or anything, but I lost my wife back. I don't even know if you know that or not. In 2015, and it was during that time he decided to come back to Kinston, and our sports editor at the time was leaving. So from my wife's hospital room up in Chapel Hill, I essentially hired him to come back and become our sports editor here. Best decision I ever made. Best freaking sports editor. Am I allowed to cuss on here?
You can say whatever you want. This is only sponsored by my businesses, so you can say whatever you want.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, I'll say freaking right now, but he was he was just the best freaking sports editor we've ever had.
Yeah.
The coaches love him. The kids just adore him.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, and he gives his heart to everything that he does, and won several awards with the North Carolina Press Association for his sports coverage. Gotcha. Yeah, but he didn't tell you any of that either.
No, he didn't. He didn't read his accolades off to us at all.
I'll read his accolades off to you then, okay?
I'm with that.
He is incredibly awesome, and what he does with the ENC moments, there is no other. I'm telling you, there's others have tried. Mm-hmm. Nobody can compete with him. He's so good.
Well, it takes consistency and over time. That's something both of you guys have definitely done with what you're doing. I mean, the consistency of the Bryan Hanks show. You don't just get to do it like once or twice a week, and then maybe next time you're like, I don't know, I'll do it like a day this week, and then you do it three days a week after that. It does not work. Like you have to.
I can tell you. Thanksgiving week, I'm only working 3 days that week, okay?
All right, that's fine. That's what we were trying to figure out. We were like, man, what do we do for Thanksgiving week? So hopefully things work out. We got a pretty cool, exciting recording coming up on Thursday.
Can you tell me who it is?
I'll throw it out there because I feel like this. I feel like it was such a hard interview for me to nail down these two people. This is going to be the first. No, it won't be. We've got two people coming tomorrow from Engage LA, which will be really cool.
Okay.
Talk to them about what they're doing over there in LaGrange and all that fun stuff. And then the next episode after that is Stacy Heath and Brad Elmore together to talk conspiracy theories and Bigfoot.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But they're rock stars in our community too, though. I mean, both of them are. So that's awesome.
So yeah, they're big conspiracy guys. So yeah, we're gonna start maybe a little mini series on conspiracy theories with them, and the first one's gonna be just Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll have it ready to go like next week for Thanksgiving, and that just may be. No time limits on any of these. So like we had a 30-minute episode, and we've had an hour 50. We got an hour 58 dropping tonight.
Wow.
And I'm like, we kind of just opted to just leave them and let them run. Like we haven't really clipped much out of them, and we just kind of let them run long. And then man, those Mustangs, dude. That's the black one.
Yeah.
It's so.
You know who
sick.
drives it?
I don't, but I can never tell because he's always going too fast.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. You have a Mustang as well, right?
Yeah.
What year's yours?
Sitting out there, 16.
16.
Yeah.
So you got Coyote motor in that sucker.
Oh, she's fast.
We've talked about this before.
Am I allowed to talk about this? I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but I've got her up to 152.
152.
Yeah. So
And you said it had some had some space.
she still had some more.
It was still breathing.
I wanted to do 160.
Yeah.
Now, kids, which
Don't.
camera should I look at here? Kids, don't speed
Ever.
Okay,
Bad.
don't do it.
It's a sin.
There you go. But I could have hit 160. I just kind of lost my nerve there. At the,
Well, yeah, things kind of start doing this a little. And
That's what you
Did
worry
it hold?
about.
Did
No.
it stick to the ground?
It stuck. No, it stuck the whole time. No, but what worried me was I just kept thinking, man, there's going to be a pebble, up there, and I'm going to hit that pebble, and it's just going to throw the whole thing off. But no, it was. She's fast. I love my Mustang. It's one of my dream purchases that I always wanted to do, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Man, you ought to hear the sound system in it too.
Yeah.
Well, I bought the Mac Daddy sound system too.
Went for it. You're like,
Yeah.
dad purchase right
Sale
here. Going
Ford.
for it.
Yeah, Sale Ford loved me that day. I just decided, this is what I'm going to do. Wrote the check and have not looked back since. I ordered it. I mean,
You
ordered
expect it all.
Exactly, everything.
hell yeah.
I mean,
That's the best
down
way
to
to
the
do it.
red dot in the 5.0. Okay.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
So,
sweet.
wait a minute. Did I just give Sale Ford a free ad?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll hit them up later. That'll be $250.
There you go. There you go.
We'll sell them some keychains. They should have They should have 3D printed sale auto keychains anyway to hand out. Nothing goes with a brand new car and a brand new key than a brand new keychain.
There you go.
3D printed in
There you
town
go.
from Powder. I mean, appreciate that. That was a great tie-in. That's why you have the sponsors and we don't.
There you go. Well, I got to give credit. I help a lot with it too. But Jason Bryant, have you met him in your travels?
Yeah.
Jason's a good dude, man, and he's my sales guy. I call him the sales executive to the stars.
I like
And
that,
between him and as hard as you talk about somebody that works his ass off. Hell, you said I could cuss. He works his ass off. He's a good dude, and he's been in the business for a while. And with WRNS now, he doesn't just sell for my show. He sells for everybody on WRNS. And
Gotcha.
Just a good dude. Good dude. Listen, I've got to give some love to John Dawson and Jonathan Massey too, or they're gonna
Go
hate
for
me
it.
if I don't do it. Okay?
You're good, man. We got all the time in the world.
John's been I've worked with him at the Free Press forever and ever.
Okay.
Great dude, and he produces my show, kind of like what your young Jordan over here is doing.
Yeah, Big Chair.
Yeah, there you go. He does all the soundbite that we played, that I played for you. I mean, he put that together. He produces our birthday game every day. I mean, just does a fantastic job with that. And then Jonathan Massey, man, is just basically he's my son. Yeah, he's just such a good kid, and I've raised him from a pup. His mom, I worked with his mom at the Free Press, and I've known him since he was like 12 years old, and now he's a father. I feel like a granddad, It's really cool. But
cool
we have a lot of fun. We put the show together, 5 days a week, and I'm very lucky to have John and Jonathan in my corner.
And you do them all live, like for the most part of them.
Now,
you do some
I've got to turn my
pre-records.
hat around, man. Okay,
That's
Sorry,
fine.
I love you.
You can do whatever you want, man.
I feel like I was a poser there for a minute. Was I posing?
It's okay. You're in good company, at least.
You are absolutely not a poser there. But no. What we do with our show is Monday through Friday, and me and the boys, we get together once a week. Now, I'm talking about raising the curtain of the show. And what we do with the birthday game, and we do some banter bits, is we'll record all of those on one night a week. Put them on a card on our Roadcaster that you you have over there. send it back with John. And then John spends a couple of days putting these things together. And so we have birthday games every single day, and then little banter bits that we do here and then. Now, the guests that I have on for the show, for the most part, as you know, you've been a gracious guest of ours.
Absolutely.
Is 90% of them are live. But like this thing I'm doing with Dontrez Styles right now from the University of North Carolina, we signed an NIL with him.
I know. I saw that. I was like, yes.
How about that,
Ballin',
man?
dude.
It was, we're that's what the kids say, right, Jordan? Yeah.
What's the technical term? Like, what would be the best word to use right now for like that's really dope? Because that's what I would say.
That's really dope.
That's really dope.
Dude,
You still
I'm
got
back.
it. You
I've
still
the
got
whole
it.
cycle.
I love it. But those parts are pre-recorded for the most part. Now, I had him on last week live because it was right after the first game of the season against UNC Wilmington. But in fact, as we're recording this right now, I'll be back home in about an hour and a half, and I'll be recording tomorrow's Tuesdays with Trez.
Very cool.
Pretty
Are they
excited
playing?
about that.
They're not playing tonight, though, are they? They played
No.
over the weekend, no?
Yeah, they
Saturday?
did. Yeah, they played Charleston.
Yep.
And biscuits. I can't wait. I'm going to ask. Dude, I want this right now. This will be awesome. What question would you like me to ask Dontrez Styles? And I will give you credit. And what would you? And I'll say Zac Holcomb from Kickin It With ... wants the answer to this question. So what would you like to ask Dontrez Styles?
What size shoe did you wear in 8th grade?
Okay.
Because I think that's important information, man. You can really tell. Like, you see these young kids coming up, and you can tell, like, when I heard not to jump off, but, like, I heard there's another kid at Rochelle that's ripping the freaking, just tearing the goals apart.
Dude, you're in basketball heaven.
Have
you
you
know this, right?
Have you heard about this kid, though?
Yeah.
I don't know what his name is, but
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but
I've heard he's ripping the rim off the backboard was the terminology.
Zach, this is what you're, and I know you've been here 3 years.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to get you used to this. And young Jordan over here can tell you this too, okay? They don't rebuild at Kinston High School. They reload. And it's every single year. Every couple of years you have this. I mean, if you think about it right now, Dontrez is at Carolina. We've got Damian Dunn, who's right now at Temple University. Yeah. We've got Jeremy Dixon and Isaac Parson, who are at Winston-Salem State. I mean, and I know I'm leaving somebody out, and I do apologize for that because I guarantee you I'm leaving somebody out.
There's gotta be.
But we have kids all over the East Coast playing basketball right now. I mean, Jerry Stackhouse, who just had his 48th birthday, and he's coaching. He's got Jalen Jones, who's an assistant to him, over at Vanderbilt. It's just crazy, dude. And when you think about, we haven't even talked about our NBA players. I mean, then you've got, Reggie and Brandon that are in the
Reggie's
NBA.
like, what, 12 years in the game now?
10th in the NBA. Yeah, he's celebrating his
that's
10th year.
Crazy. That's a lot.
That's
to
the
get
top
there is
10%
great.
of the NBA play 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. That's an interesting fact.
Oh, I'm full of stats for you, dude.
I like that.
Yeah.
I used to be like a super stat guy about sports and stuff. I was like the guy that ran all the leagues and all that stuff for fantasy and stuff, but I slacked off.
Whoa, wait a minute. Do you play fantasy?
I haven't in a really long time. I used to be like that guy, and then like cause I used to work at a bar and stuff, and like you just know sports because of that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did that for a really long time, and then I started working like in this like 3D print industry type thing for my father-in-law. And one day we were standing there at the end of the day, and I was just like reciting stupid stats about random things, and I this person, that person, this person. Anyway, I'm working for my father-in-law. He was like, I wish that he chuckled, and I was like, what? He's like, you got all this like random knowledge, but he's like, I just wish you would just know like half as much as you know about that, about like this machine I got in the back that makes this money. And I was like, oh, cool, game on. And then I just like slowly went away from sports, and I got really, really into like nerd stuff like computers and stuff. But now I'm coming back. Like now I'm like, I went too far that way, and now I'm like, and then there was like the kind of the political sports stuff there for a few years, so I was kind of like, kind of distaste like to me. And then, but now it's like back to like, kind of what it was there in like before 2016 when the world was somewhat normalish. Yeah. We weren't all arguing with each other all the time about stupid stuff.
You know what? I'd like to think, you led us down this. I don't mind talking about it. I think we're headed back to that. Yeah. I think with the way the midterms went, there wasn't like this big, and listen, I'm a libertarian. Let's go ahead and lay that out there. I think the Democrats are full of shit. I think the Republicans are full of shit. I mean, they both are. Yep. I'm a libertarian, and I've often said, even if the libertarians got in power, they would be full of shit too. I mean, it is what it is. But I really think that with us staying more mainstream and being more centrist instead of this big red wave that people were predicting. it stayed more centrist. I mean, I love that the House stayed blue. I really do. I love that the Senate is going to be solidly red. There's going to be this checks and balances thing.
Or reverse, I think.
Or reverse, yeah, reverse.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Same basic gist.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I love that. And that's what bothers me about the state of North Carolina right now is, and nothing against our good friends Jim Perry and Chris Humphrey and those guys. I adore those guys. They're just awesome people. I think they do a great job representing our area. But I wish North Carolina had more of a checks and balances. It's good that we have a Democratic governor, and I'm glad that we have that to keep the House and the Senate in check. But I know they would tell you, the Republicans would be like, we need, complete. But I think it's good.
Us and,
Exactly. And I worry about the day here in North Carolina where it's a one-party system, which it was for decades and decades. I know you were in Ohio, but I'm telling you, North Carolina used to be just the biggest one of the biggest Democratic states in the country. And I love that we have this checks and balances, and I hope we don't get to the point where it's Republicans in charge of everything. Because, as I said, the Republicans are as full of shit as the Democrats are.
How long have you been in North Carolina? Like forever?
Oh, my whole life except for when I was in the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, I've lived all over the state. I grew up in northwestern North Carolina.
Okay.
I went to college in Charlotte and then started my professional career in that neck of the woods. The lady I was married to lived in Raleigh, and we were together, so I was up in Raleigh quite a bit. And I've been here for 20 years now, so I've literally, if you look at a map of North Carolina, I've lived in all four corners of North Carolina.
I like that.
So I like to think I have a pretty good perspective.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, in Ohio, it's like a battleground state. You never know which way it's going to go, right?
Yeah.
How long has that? I feel like North Carolina has become a little bit more of like that. Like, that's kind of what you were saying, too. It's like it's not so much straight flush one way or the other. But how long has it been? Because, like, people pay attention to, like, the primary in North Carolina, not like Iowa and New Hampshire. I think that's the state necessarily, but
no, you're right.
Pretty close, right?
Hey, I would say for the last 15 years or so. North Carolina was always. Now we had Senator Jesse Helms, who was about as far right wing as you could get. I don't know if you remember him. You might be too young, but he was as right wing conservative senator as you could have. But then we had Jim Hunt, who was a pretty moderate Democrat as our governor for a few terms. But we were always at, and I'm going to say this wrong, and people who are watching this are going to be like, Hanks, come on. Like they used to call them blue tick Democrats or something like that.
Sounds familiar.
And that's what we were, Southern conservative Democrats.
Yeah, like a very moderate
there you
blue,
go.
Right?
Exactly. That ran North Carolina for forever and ever. And that's what, but if we were a solidly Democrat, you could count on North Carolina going Democratic for the most part. Except, when Reagan ran, I think Reagan took North Carolina, but
definitely went for Clinton twice.
Y'all definitely went for Clinton twice.
Gotcha.
Who, by the way, I know this is going to irritate people, best president in my lifetime.
Did a pretty good job of doing the economy stuff in a time. That shit boomed, bro.
Dude,
boomed.
That's when during Bill Clinton's term is when I started my 401k.
And great for you, dude.
Exactly. The greatest growth of my 401k was in the 90s when he was president. And just listen. Now, what if I had a daughter? Would I want my daughter around him? Oh, hell no.
Yeah, you're not trying to invite Uncle Bill to the all the birthday parties.
I wouldn't want him around my girlfriend. I wouldn't want him around my child or anything like that. But as a president, he was a heck of a president. And I can't wait to hear what people say about that. They're going to be like, they're going to definitely say I'm full of crap.
We're definitely going to sound clip that and make it a shorter video so we can make sure we get eyes on that. Yeah,
there you go. There you go. I like that.
But I feel like we're kind of back there, though, a little bit now with our current president. Still kind of one of those guys you kind of like maybe keep him away from the children's birthday parties, but
dude, listen,
I love it. I love the political theater and every bit of all of it. It is free. If you don't pay attention to politics because you're like, I don't do politics, it's state. You're missing out.
Yeah.
To say you don't do politics because it's all drama and stupid and all this stuff, but then to spend 4 hours a day watching Netflix shows, this shit's fire, bro.
Yeah.
And it matters.
It does. This is what bothers me, okay? And now, let me say this. I really like President Obama. And again, as a libertarian, I'm middle of the road. He was a conservative Democrat. And people try to, people on the right will say, oh, he tried to do this.
He's the worst. Yeah.
He wasn't. He's not the best. Like I said, I go back to Bill Clinton being the best president. And Ronald Reagan was a great president, too. I can do it from all sides of the aisle, but our last two presidents, both of them, listen, I'm going to speak ill of both sides here. The previous president, 45. Good God Almighty, insane. He's an insane man, and I guess he's going to be announcing this week that he's running. I think it's tomorrow.
Maybe by the time this is out.
There you go. And then the guy we have in right now, I'm worried that I think he's a robot. I really do. I mean, I think he's a robot that there are people behind the scenes like young Jordan over here with a computer saying, say this,
I like when he reads the things that aren't supposed to be said. It's like, and repeat from the top. Oh, shit.
There you go.
No, you freaking it. It's like, and I'm Ron Burgundy.
Dude, greatest movie ever. Anchorman is one of my top 5 movies of all time.
It's so timely right now, too.
Oh, it's very timely. Or Idiocracy. Did you ever see that?
No.
Young Jordan has seen it.
I've seen both of those.
Yes.
I saw, what was the first movie you mentioned?
Anchorman.
Anchorman when I was like 12 in the movie theaters, and I was the loudest one in there laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
It was not for my age at the time, but it was so funny.
Yeah. So, Jeff, I can't believe you took your son to go see Anchorman and rated R.
It actually wasn't him.
Oh, it wasn't?
He didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Was it like an aunt
The
or an
statute
uncle?
of limitations is up
Your
on
mom,
that now,
perfect.
right?
That's perfect.
Say that again?
I said the statute of limitations is up on that now, right?
Well,
So,
he still kind of lives at home, but you're old enough now.
You'll like Idiocracy, though. For sure.
Idiocracy.
You need to put that on your, and it is basically what we're living through right now with an idiot as president, and I don't even want to ruin it. You need to put it on your watch list, dude. Before you come back on my show, and you do know I'm on yours now, you've got to come back on mine now, right?
Always available, man.
There you go.
I told you too. Like, let me know on those last minute cancellations.
Okay.
Just like, hey,
Well,
if you're
I'd
bored,
like to,
come on
I'd
over
like
to
to, fit you into, we'll definitely get you on before Thanksgiving,
All right,
or maybe right after Thanksgiving. I think.
Yeah, because you're only
for like
working
2
one day
weeks.
next week. So.
Yeah, I'm working 3. Yeah, just 3. You're absolutely right there. But politics, man, sports are. If you're a sports fan, how can you not be a fan of politics?
Right.
You've got winners and losers. You've got, interesting things that happen all the time with it. I mean,
Always a backstory.
There's always a backstory. You've always got game flow and everything. Which, okay, it's my turn now. I get to turn to, is this all right, young Jordan here? I'm going to turn the tables now on Zac Holcomb here. So you running for mayor again?
I don't know, man. It's like 3 years from now, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of torn. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm really liking this position right now of being able to, I have run. I was vocal before I ran. Then I ran. I've kind of been chilling in the shadows pretty much ever since then until about a month or 2 ago. So kind of, I don't know. I think the election season kind of got me going again a little bit. And then
you definitely brought energy into it.
yeah, it was fun.
Okay.
I feel like something I said on maybe one of the other episodes, but I put that into run, and then like literally 6 weeks later, my business partners in Additive were like getting all squirrely and funky on stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had to pretty much like bag spending time running for mayor to keep Additive America going and work through that to purchasing them out of the business at the end of March. So that was a huge, like, that completely bogged the whole thing down. Like, we announced that we were running into July. We have a meeting with a bunch of friends. We're like, we're going to mess this game up a little bit. We're going to go live every day. We're going to do basically what I'm doing now of just like hosting people from town and just having conversations. And so that was what our plan really was. And then 2 or 3 weeks into it, just my whole world changed, and it was like, well, now I got to make sure I got enough money to eat and all this other stuff. And so it really changed the perspective of it all for me. I would say, like, if I had the ability to run, still pulled 7.5% of the vote and like literally did not campaign other than like 50 signs, Tommy Maddox being the best campaign manager ever. And
Tommy Maddox is
making
a hell of a
some
guy,
videos.
isn't he?
He's fantastic.
And I've known him since I got here
I
to
love him.
Kinston 20 years ago. You should have seen him as a referee. You never got to see him be a referee. Yep. Very good referee.
I wouldn't even heckle him, you don't think?
Oh, you would heckle, dude. Come on, man. You're the
know.
Wood Ducks Mafia.
It's
man.
kind of awkward when he comes and sits in the box and I'm yelling at the umps. He's like, that's so-and-so. He's a really good guy. And I'm like, well, he fucked that call up. And he's like, yeah. And I can't really see that far anyway, so I'm probably wrong. I'm just being mad.
Well, you're a fan, and that's one of the things that we appreciate. And I can say formally, because, I resigned as the voice of the Wood Ducks. You do know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I know we appreciated you up in the press box. There were times when the door would open, we could hear you guys down there, man. And I absolutely know that the players appreciate you. I know John Clemens appreciates you, and By the way, dude, you've got some of the best freaking gear.
Thanks, dude.
I love the autographed jerseys, the bat, the case of the. Are you picking me up here? The case of baseballs over there. Yeah. I mean, dude,
I've got all those in 2 seasons.
Really?
Just in 2 seasons, because I've only experienced, because the first year I was here, canceled it.
Yeah.
So that's all just 2 seasons of baseball, and I didn't really try that hard until they did like the team signing. They didn't do team signing at the last game last year, so I had to I got lucky and they did the jersey giveaway or the jersey auction the last day of the year, and I was like, I'm just going for the 21 jersey. 21. And Taco wore the 21. He was like my daughter's favorite player. So I was like, if I get the 21, we'll be cool. And then I bought it, and I was like, hey, why don't you let the whole team sign it since it's the year 2021? And so they hooked it up for me, and that's how I got the 21 with the team. Grant's got the 3, the Jay Seasley, from the 70 stolen bases season.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, he's still playing.
Where'd you get those framed? If you don't mind me asking.
The right angle, bud, right here.
Right here. That's awesome.
You don't get any more local
businesses.
Yeah. Why carry it somewhere else? He's actually got.
That's beautiful.
He's got another one for me right now. That's this year's team.
Did you get the 22 or?
I got it on a. You'll have to help me. Remember when they did the JOYADOS jerseys? Oyados.
Oh, when we were doing Latin
17
appreciation.
or 18? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't remember right now.
I can't remember what it was, but anywho, it was like a really cool jersey. It's like got baby blue in it, and it's got like some oranges and yellows and stuff. It's really dope. I think it was a
Clemens
2018.
and Janelle are going to be so mad at me that I can't remember what the
Oyados Day something, I think is what it is.
I've only done it for
really
5
good
years.
Spanish.
You would think I could remember,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even here, but come on. But I think so. I got that jersey at like before they canceled the 20 season. They had like a come down. It was like March whatever day before the world ended, basically. And they did a little thing, and they were like doing a raffle for some stuff, and like somehow I won like a size 2XL game worn jersey of that. It had been hanging in my closet. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. Not a 2X guy.
No, you're not. I am a 2X guy.
Yeah,
okay.
I should have just hit you up. But anyway, I was looking for something to have the team sign on like the last Saturday of the season when they all come out and did the team autographs and stuff. And I already had won the bat, so that's a 2022 team bat. And then I was like, well, what? I guess I'll just take this jersey. So I got the whole team to sign the jersey too. So he's framing that one up for me now too. So, do you see the other thing back there is really cool?
I was trying. I'm so ego. I didn't want to wear my glasses during this, but so now I'm gonna have to put my glasses on and see.
Oh, if you're ego,
Are you talking about the glove or the kickball?
Yeah, the kickball.
Are you a kickball champion?
I am a kickball champion.
Dude, we played kickball. The Free Press had a kickball team for what we called ourselves. Oh God, I cannot remember. It was a really punny name, and now I can't even remember. I have to tell you what. The next couple of days, I'll send you a picture because we had. Oh, dude, I got us dry fit Nike shirts and everything, man.
That's great.
Was it? Now everybody who's watching this who worked with me at the Free Press is like, "Come on, Hanks, get it together."
Yeah, you're getting us lots of thumbs downs right now. It's
exactly,
fine. We've been getting a bunch of them anyway. We really like it. So me and Steph do axe throwing a little bit, right? Down there at the axe throwing place, which is super fun if you're competitive over the winter and you're looking for something to do. It's pretty fun. Like $125, you get to go for like 8 weeks, 8 weeknights or something, or like 8 Sundays. Pretty cool. Anyway, they have this thing called duels throwing where it's 2 people versus 2 people, and you throw at the same time at the same target.
Wow.
So it'd be like you and me like this, and we're like 1, 2, 3, and we got to like throw and let go at the same-ish time. And so
can you knock the other person's out in midair?
Yeah, but it's your teammate. So you don't want
you and your teammate.
Yeah,
are doing
it's
it
like
at the same
me
time.
and
I thought
you
were saying
versus
that
Jerry and Jeff.
Okay.
And so we're throwing together, but like if you throw them and like you kind of go too far to the bullseye and so do I, that's really good except for the fact that I might knock yours down.
Yeah. Have you ever done that before?
A million times.
Okay.
There's also this thing called a Robin Hood where you throw it and one of them sticks in the board and then the other one sticks in the handle of that axe.
Wow.
And so they score that as you get 2 of whatever the one stuck in the board is. So if you throw like a bullseye and the other person sticks theirs right in the handle of yours, you get 2 bullseyes.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, I've got to tell you, I feel like I need to be honest with you here, right? I'm horrible. I've been a couple of times. They had the ribbon opening a couple of years ago.
I remember that, yeah.
Huh?
I was there for that, yeah. I remember you
Did
there.
you see how bad Dude, I don't know what it is. And I consider myself, I played basketball. I ran track. I've played softball, competitive softball.
It's rotation,
the upper
man.
50
It's different.
percentile of athletes. I mean, I'm too old now to do it, but dude, I just figured, I have, I can do this, and dude, I was horrible.
The problem was you were probably throwing it too much like a baseball. Like your elbow up, and then the thing, like as you throw the axe, the head turns, and then it needs the sharp thing to land. Come on.
Dude, I bet
I got
50
with the
throws.
fingertips.
I did like 50 throws. I think it connected 3 times in 50 throws.
You're like, can I just have my money back?
No,
Call it a day.
and then I thought another time, Linda and I and some friends went, and I thought, you know what, maybe this was in the middle of the day. Let me get a couple of brewskis in me, and let's see. That's got to make a difference. No, I was just as bad the second time as I was the first time. So
When I throw, I can't even be competitive until I'm like on beer number 2. But then what's the problem is like sometimes the tournaments go for so long that you need to be like in what I call elite shape, which is somewhere between 2 beers and 4 beers, but not past that.
yeah.
And so you kind of have to like ebb and flow in that stasis
Yeah.
throughout
No,
a 4-hour
no.
thing. It's tough.
4 hours.
Sometimes like they do like a marathon league, so you throw all 7 weeks. So it'd be like 28 matches and then go into a tournament.
So do you lift? Do you,
Yeah, I lift beers to my chin. That's pretty much it. But you're talking about punny names for teams. So, of course, axe, right? Throwing. A lot of puns you can come up with there. And, of course, the duels teams, it's not just your name. It's your duels team name. So me and Steph's duels team name for duels axe throwing is No, Not in My Axe. And it's, like, registered on, like, it's like it's an official like grand final.
you don't say that in front of young Jordan though, right?
Yeah, I try not to. I try to keep it very tame for young Jordan for sure.
Or how about you could get a tattoo and just say "Accent only."
Yeah, I like accent only too. Yeah, I like that. That's a good one too.
Thank you.
Accent only. I had. We can go right down this wormhole.
Yeah.
My first tattoo I got. I'm in there getting a tattoo, and I'm like, I obviously like asking people questions, talking, shooting the shit. So I was like, hey man, like what's like one of the craziest tattoos you've ever done?
I'm scared to hear this.
It's a wormhole, let me tell you. He goes, well, he chuckles, and I'm like,
I bet it involves genitalia, right?
to a degree.
Yeah.
He said he had a guy that came once, and he basically the short, uncensored version of it is this person wanted a rat clawing itself out of his butt crack. So this dude told me how he had to. He's got this guy laid out, and he's tattooing. Yeah, he's got to spread it so when he's just normal, the thing looks like it's coming out of his ass.
Oh my God, that's
like
disgusting yet hilarious.
Yeah, I was like 17, so my mom took me to sign for it, and we were like arguing a lot. And this was like one random day. She just decided she was going to get along with me really well. So she was like, do you want to go get that tattoo? And I was like, yeah, let's go like right now. Before
You got that tattoo?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's on my list. But, but yeah, so she's like, well, I don't know. And then I went and I asked that question. And my mom's sitting there like, I'm hearing the story told to me by a guy tattooing me with my mom in the room. And I'm 17. So I was like, that was like one of those first moments where we're like, all right, mom's pretty cool. Like, because it didn't faze her one bit.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Isn't that a crazy funny
How
story?
many tats do you have?
3.
Really?
I haven't done one since before my oldest was born, so 12 years.
Oh, wow. I've got one.
Yeah?
Believe it or not, yeah.
What you got?
The University of Virginia when they won the national championship in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
In 2019, got it right here with 2019 underneath it. A lot of people don't do that. When I tell them, kind of like how you just reacted, people don't realize I waited till I was 50 years old to get my first tattoo.
I like that. Never too old for a tat, man. Never too old to get the first one.
Yeah. Well, but I had always, Miss Linda, who you've met, my boo. Linda.
Yeah.
Would you believe she's got 2? Whoa. Yeah, I can't tell you about them though. Okay. But,
Yeah.
where's
That's
my
a different episode.
She's
That's the after.
she's going to kill me when she hears that. So please make sure you leave that in, okay?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Amplify that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's your breakout. Linda has 2 tattoos.
Did you know Linda has tattoos? Welcome to episode 9.
There you go. She's going to love that. But I had always said I'm a big University of Virginia fan. I mean, I got University of Virginia, and you see my license plate on my car too, right?
Yeah.
Wahoo! So I'm a Wahoo.
Yeah, because
fan.
remember when I think maybe the first time I stopped at your place to chat about election fund stuff, maybe off the air, I was like, "What are you, like a Cleveland Indians fan
That's
or
what
something
you
like
asked.
that?" And you're
right.
like,
No, University of Virginia. Yeah. But I had always said I've been a Virginia fan since 1979, which you don't even remember, and he thinks his ancient times over there. you know. But been a Virginia fan that whole time, and I always said, I mean, not that I'm anti-tattoo. I've always, I don't care. Do you, boo. That's what Linda says, and I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But I had always said if Virginia ever won the national championship, I was going to get a tattoo. And I mean, it's a pretty good one right here. So
I like that.
Yeah,
I should have
take
done
my
Cubs
shirt off
one.
and show you, but I mean, you know, we don't want to make this NC-17. You know,
That'll be OnlyFans when we get that going.
There you go.
I'm trying to get an OnlyFans like foot profile going. I'm thinking that could be a thing. It just what was it? We had it the other day. There was a lady in here. Were you here that day?
About what?
We were talking about doing the OnlyFans account where it's just
Feet.
furry feet. Yeah.
I think they have a site for that. It's called.
Wow.
I think it's called Feet Finder, actually.
Really?
Feet Finder.
Yeah,
I think I wanted to
literally
call
only just feet. OnlyFans, but only for feet.
Yeah, see, I want to have an OnlyFans called like Fuzzy Toes, and it's just like
Fuzzy Toes.
Are your toes fuzzy?
no, but I know a lot of
okay.
people's are, and so I just want this OnlyFans to just be content of like blue collar workers, like slow motion, high like 4K slow motion of like dudes getting home from work, taking their sweaty boots off, and then like taking that long wet sock off their feet.
Zach. Oh,
Just like shorts of just that.
I hope you're not watching this while you're eating breakfast or dinner right now, okay?
We air them after 8, so
Okay, there you go. There you go. That's
we've
awesome.
learned that lesson. Yeah, we were releasing them at lunchtime. People were like, "We can't really listen to this at lunch," and I was like, "It's cool. We're doing them at 8 p.m."
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
But no, anywho, that's remember that's our kickball trophy from 2 years ago.
That's right. We played you guys.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't really like you that much.
No one really liked
I
us
thought
that
you were
day.
an asshole, man.
Everyone
I'm telling you, I
was pissed about
really
that.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
we took it seriously. Jason Bryan was out there with us
Yes.
because we did. We
He
had a
was very
WRNS
pissed about
team.
it too.
Yeah, and or we had some coaches out there too. But
Yep.
that's right.
Yep. Yeah, I know. And then they
Hey,
haven't
young
had one
Jordan,
since.
I want you to distract him. I'm going to grab that ball and leave with it when I leave tonight.
I told you that was when we won the World Series of Kickball at Grainger Stadium on like 19 bunts.
You did tell me that. I didn't know if it was.
And who was pitching?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That funny, interesting point though. So we were assembling our team all day and all maybe the day before, last minute.
Yeah.
So they were like, "You need a team." I was like, "Shit, I got like 4 friends in this town." So we had this kid that worked for us that went to South Lenoir at the time, Joe Cobb, who was like a ridiculous freak athlete on the football team.
Yep.
So we hit him up. We got him, his brother, and then like their friend. We were like, "You guys are 1, 2, 3. Here we go." And then we just tried to stay out of the way largely. But the like last minute that day, I was like looking for a couple more players. Let me know. And I put it on Facebook, and like one person hit me up, and he was like, "Hey, I'd be down to join if you want." And I was like, so you like look at the profile. You're like, we're assembling a team of athletes to win. And then we had this guy who was like, "Hey, if you got another spot, I'm in." And he did it like immediately. So we were like, "All right, no problem." And so he came out, and now he's like one of my really good friends in town. Is Keith Ipock.
Okay.
So golf, big golf guy, big pinball.
I know
guy.
the name. I don't know him personally, but I know his name.
He does like a bunch of golf. He's like big into golfing. Does like some stuff like that. I think he might. I don't know if he's a pro or he's at that level, but he's also a big time pinball guy.
Okay.
Same here, big pinball guy. So anywho, he like hit us up, and we were like, "Oh man, like all right, that's fine." We got like we're all a bunch of like young athletic people, but it's fine. Like we'll take it.
We hated you that night.
Yeah, he hit the freaking walk-off hit. He had the walk-off RBI, and we were like, yes. He was like the only actual kick.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But you just congratulations on your
apologize for
You
that.
still got the ball.
I saw like the post that I
It may
made
not
that
be
night
here when
in
I
memories.
leave here tonight, okay?
I understand. I was like, man, I was pretty rude about that night. But
Oh,
I'm
it was
I'm
fun.
weird.
It was
like
fun.
that.
It was fun.
I don't. That's my like bad trait is like any competition.
Well, I got to tell you, the
goes
most
there.
fun thing that I remember from that night, I do remember you guys bunting a lot. And I'm joking when I say you were an asshole. You really weren't an asshole. I thought you guys
We kind of were, but
Well,
it's
you
fine.
kind of were, but I remember, Scott Weddington, of course.
Yeah,
I love Scott. I call him the son of Kinston. But he's a pretty athletic kid himself. I mean, he really is. I mean, he's a pretty good golfer. I mean, he plays baseball. He played baseball, I think, a little bit when he was in high school. Nice. Not a very good basketball player, although he'll try to tell you he's a good basketball player. Up until a couple of years ago, I could still beat him at age 50. I could beat, 20-year-old.
Sorry about that, Scott.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, he's going to love this part too. But what I remember about that kickball game was we had Jason Bryant, who we were talking about, and Jason's son, who is going to be a hell of an athlete. Let me tell you something. Connor is he's like a rock star baseball player right now at age 10. I'm not joking. I mean, he's playing in these travel leagues and everything. He's the MVP everywhere he goes. Keep that name in mind, Connor Bryan. He's going to be a rock star. But he was playing for us a couple of years ago, so he was only like 8 years old then, okay?
Yeah.
And I think Scott got our final out. And young Connor Bryan, an 8-year-old goes, little Connor about this tall goes, "What's wrong with you? Why did you get out there?" An 8-year-old kid. And that's when I knew that kid is going to be, he's that competitive at 8 years old. But like I said, remember that name. Remember that name, Connor Bryant. He is going to be a rock star for wherever he ends up. If he's at North Lenoir or at Kinston, wherever he ends up, I promise you, he's going to be a rock star.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm excited
Okay,
for that.
I got to ask you, I love this.
Yeah.
My interviewing. Tell me about, I remember seeing the pictures of the crash right here. Yeah, tell me.
So the way that the crash kind of broke out to the way that it happened.
How long had you been in here? You weren't even in here yet, right?
No, we hadn't moved in yet. So we bought the building on August 14th of 20.
Okay.
And we started working on the upstairs immediately because we didn't know. I didn't have control of everything additive at that point, so we were still unsure of what we were going to do with the downstairs. So we started working on the upstairs residential immediately. We got it pretty much framed in, and then we were like, we need to get the downstairs ready. Additives expanding, it needs to move into that. So we started working on the downstairs. So we worked on the downstairs from I would say from September, maybe the first 60 days we owned it. All we did was the roof and different stuff like that. Make sure I say roof, because when I say roof, like I say at home, people are like, "That's what sound a dog makes." I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway,
you've met Molly. That's what she says too. Yeah.
She's all about the roof too.
She's gonna love that I mentioned her here on your show.
We'll clip
too.
that.
Okay. Yeah.
Put that in K9.
Dude, that's awesome. Go ahead, please.
So we had that. So we first 60 days was the roof and just cleaning stuff out, ripping things down and things like that, because there was a lot of stuff left over. And then we worked on the upstairs for 6 months, and then March we were stop that, and then we came downstairs. We started framing the downstairs in. We got electric on. We got the HVAC starting to go into place. And then in June or July, I think it was July, middle of July, maybe second week, we were at a baseball game. It's Thursday, my favorite day of the week. Fantastic. Go to a baseball game, go home from the baseball game, go to sleep. 10:30, 11, 1 o'clock, phone starts ringing like crazy. And I'm like, nah, not happening, not answering it. Don't know the numbers, don't really care. I'm whatever. Hey, call me again? Nope, don't care. Last thing I was thinking was oh my God, there's a car in the building. And then
there's a car in my building.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're probably calling because there's a car in the building.
Yeah.
So Jesse calls, and then that rings through as the first number I had saved in my phone. I was like, oh God. Yep. Hey, I just got a call. They're trying to get a hold of you. There's a car in the building. Cool. What do you mean? That's all they told me. Okay. So I get up, I start putting all my stuff on. I had no cameras in here at the time, so I'm just there's a car in the building.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean? So I come down here, and I'm racing to get down here, and I start pulling up here on Heritage, and they got a wrecker parked in the middle of the intersection diagonal, and it's dragging this freaking car out like a Mercury something or a Lincoln Town car, basically like a 90s.
So a big car then.
Kind of a boat, yeah. And I've got the hood emblem. I can tell you exactly what it is. I just have to find it. I saved that sucker. But yeah, we come in, and then basically the whole wall had been blown into the building, and I had basically had a vending machine sitting right there. Then there was a man door, and then there was brick about this over here, about as high as your knees, and then it was windows above that. So when the dude crashed in, he hit literally perfect, in between these two columns. So this used to be a garage door just like this back in the waybacks. And then they had the garage door in the back as well. We took that one out to put the wall up, and we took the back garage door and split it into two man doors. One is a back door for the downstairs, and one is the entry for the upstairs for residential. So we had already fixed that one, and I had told Grant and my dad, I was like, man, we should just put a roll-up glass garage door here. It'd be so sweet. And they were like, nah, we don't really need to do that. It wasn't the most financially needed thing.
Yeah.
So basically there was lights like this going on
exactly.
and sounds like this. And lo and behold, they had hit the lights on a car over by Grainger they ran the plates, came back stolen. The person was driving really slow. So they're like, woo woo.
Okay, I didn't know all this. Okay.
Yeah. So stolen car, they light them up, and the person proceeds to drive from Grainger all the way down Vernon to Queen, and then all the way down Queen to Gordon. He's going 15, 20 miles an hour the whole way. Not even speeding, just driving. Turns on Gordon, then turns onto Heritage, and then he got right here. And I think another cop car maybe was chasing down Queen and then cut across north and got to him right here at the intersection, the dude was like, oh shit, do I go straight or do I turn left? And he was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then he never decided, and then he crashed into the building. So like the worst decision is innocent. No, he was just 15 and just driving a stolen car.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was basically
15.
Yeah, 14, 15, something like that. Best part.
I didn't know all this. I just remember it was the biggest story in town for a couple of days. I'm just talking about. I'm outside your bubble, and I remember hearing that. Did you hear somebody crashed into Zac Holcomb's new building or something like that? And you had some pictures up on Facebook about it.
Oh yeah. Of course.
And then of course everybody had to drive by. How many people drove by in that next week?
Tons. Yeah. I should have started just charging for like.
If you'd have charged $1, just $1.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. Exactly. Hell, you would have had enough to.
Yeah,
take Stephanie to a very to a very nice dinner.
Yeah,
but
dude, they punched it. There was the vending machine, a full like heavy ass vending machine was sitting there, and they hit it so hard. He only came in about like 1.5 feet. Hit that so hard with so much force it hit it all the way over here. It punched the wall, like knocked that wall in, and then.
So to tell people, that's about 25 feet then.
Yeah, about 25 feet. That a full vending machine slid all the way across, and it ended at that brick wall over there. It's pretty crazy.
See, I would have done a Peter Griffin, from Family Guy, and just been weeping, not about the hole in the building, but that it destroyed. Did it destroy the vending machine?
Yeah, it bent it up pretty good. I was able to like pry it open and get all the stuff out of it, and like it still works. It's just banged up pretty well.
Do you have insurance on a vending machine? I don't know. I've never owned a vending machine.
Best part about it was we're under construction.
So
everything inside is an asset.
That is
a construction asset, and so the adjuster. So this happens, and I was like, for an hour and 15, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And then I start to see the silver lining here. I was like, Grant, probably get that fucking garage door over there now. And he's like, no, we're not going to. It's like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. He's pissed off. Yeah. He's like, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to block it in and be whatever. I was like, I'm just telling you, I'm pretty sure the way that these work is they come and they tell you how much, get some quotes, and then they write you a check, and they don't care what you do with it.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, well, we'll see. And my dad and my brother are extremely conservative to my not very conservatism. I'm the pusher of things. And so
you're the progressive one.
Yeah, I would say, bro. And so they come and I was like, the adjuster's sitting here, and he's like, man, that's a bummer. You guys were almost. So to answer your question, we were about like 30 days away from, if not less than that, to moving in. And then we reset that another 45 to basically till we were able to move in. But yeah, I mean, we just had it like studded up and OSB board for like the longest time. And then finally, dude that ordered the door, it was all in back order because everything was all screwed up. So he ended up giving us like a door for the winter until this one came in. But yeah, it was pretty sweet, man. The dude came out, the adjuster, and he was like, he was going over stuff. And I was like, do you care if I do this? He goes, I don't care what you do. He goes, I cut you a check. You want to leave it boarded up like this? That's your call. It's your building.
You do you.
I was like, sweet. And so I was like, man, this vending machine's kind of fucked. He was like, well, I said, I just got it too. Well, he was like, well, how much do those go for? I was like, $800, man. So he's like,
that's it.
He was like, cool.
See, I thought it would be more than that. I really did.
Yeah, like $1 acceptor vending machine's only $700-800. Not bad. That's why I bought it. I was like, this makes a little money here.
Yeah.
I was just gonna sell candy like barbecue festival just on the inside or something, or like for myself or my kids. I mainly bought it to tax my children. I was like, well,
Here's
want
your
money.
Allowance.
Yeah,
but
the candy's in the vending machine.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. There you go.
Perfect. So anyway, the dude, I had bought this. I told this last week, I think, but I was at the office one night hanging out, and then Sarah walked by, and she was like, I'm trying to do something in that corner over there. I need to get rid of that vending machine. Know anyone that might want a vending machine? And I was like, I'll give you $100 for it. And she was like, sold. I was like, cool. And I woke up the next day, and I was like, about like 3 in the afternoon. I was like,
did I buy a vending machine?
I'm pretty sure I bought a vending machine last night. And so I texted her, and she's like, yeah, you did. Come and get it. So bought it for $100, got $800 on the insurance payback for it. Took all the candy out and ate it myself, or my kids ended up stealing most of it. And then, I sold it the other day as
it was right before Halloween, and then we gave it all out, during Halloween.
That's what we should have done. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was a pretty good deal.
What kind of candy did you have? Yeah, I know I'm getting granular here, but I mean, did you have Kit Kats in there?
Yeah, we had Kit Kats.
Three Musketeers?
I'd probably not Three Musketeers. I'm not a big fan of that.
See, I love this.
What about Take 5?
Ooh, I love a Take 5.
Like Take 5. I like the miniature Take 5s because they just like put the whole little mini pretzel in there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had that shit in a while. 3 flavors of Skittles because those are important.
Love
and sour.
Skittles. Yeah.
So 3 and sour. Red, blue, purple, sour. Yeah.
Do you have any in here right now?
I don't. I used to have to. This is a funny wrestling thing you might not know. We used to cut absurd amounts of weight for wrestling, and then now they've pussified it all, and it's ridiculous. But
in what way? Because I'm a sports reporter.
So in my day of wrestling, make me sound old, but 2006 was when I graduated. That was the last year of it. And then they started doing this stupid thing where they make you take a hydration test at the beginning of the season, and then they tell you how much weight you can safely lose during the season. When we did
I
it,
remember seeing wrestlers walking around with cups and just spitting into cups to get rid, because you think you're losing.
That's where the Skittles come in.
Oh, okay.
So you take a Skittles, you chew on the Skittles, like put 4 in your mouth, chew on them. You salivate a ton, right?
Mm-hmm.
You spit it all out. Rinse your mouth out with water. Whoosh, spit it out.
And you've lost 1/4 pound?
My dad used to buy, so I used to do this, like, I went to school part-time, and then I was a weight loser for the winter. That was like my full-time job, was to lose weight enough to be at these crazy weight classes. Mm-hmm. And so my dad would take me, I'd wake up, he'd work me out real hard, and then I'd eat a little bit. He'd send me to school for 5 periods, and that was the minimum to be eligible to do sports for the day. And then he would come pick me up, and I would get in the car, and he'd have the heat cranked all the way up, and the heated seat would be on high, and he'd have his window rolled down so he could breathe.
Yeah.
And he was trying to gas me out, and then he would always buy me these 2.5-pound bags of Skittles, and then I'd just have like the big wide mouth Powerades.
You've got to get young Jordan on here, whose father is the preeminent wrestling coach. Mm-hmm. Well, I would say him and Carlos Stodd down at South Lenoir. They both do a great job coaching. What did you do
I
to
would
lose weight?
stay after practice later, or I'd go to the sauna. I think it was Gold's Gym used to have a sauna. I'm pretty sure right next to near Walmart.
Okay.
I don't think it's there anymore, but yeah. That'll just go out with some friends and run after practice, especially.
So you didn't suck on Skittles?
Nah, gum.
Gum,
works just as
okay.
good.
Gum, yeah.
Okay.
And you don't have to keep putting Skittles in your mouth. You just chew that same piece of gum. I didn't think about Skittles though. I feel like that would probably be.
It's a little extra because you get like that fructose, all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, he was a pretty damn good wrestler when he was in North Lenoir, right?
That's what I heard, man. I seen him.
Very
his
good.
names on the wall. So
Yep.
yeah, it was like 45 wins or something as a senior. 46, 45, 46.
I think I was at your senior awards thing.
45.
45.
Can't hear you.
I think it was 45.
Honestly, I think it was. I can't quite remember.
Someone else is above you with 46, I think. So you were right there. I was looking at it today, actually.
If there was, it's Eli.
Yeah, they were both
But
2019.
I know I have the most career wins, so
yeah,
that's cool.
111.
Yep.
God, that's pretty impressive.
Stats guy now.
What was your?
I don't know how many I won all time. I was over 100. My senior year, I was 30-5 before I lost my last 3 matches to be done. So that's how that goes. Like, unless you win states, or you get 3rd or 5th or 7th, you're ending on a loss. So like, that's the interesting thing about wrestling is like, unless you're like one of 4 people a year, you pretty much end your season losing every time, which I guess is most sports really, but it sucks. But I don't know. I think I was 30-5 with 24 pins, and then I ended up losing my last 3.
What
so I was
weight
30
did
and
you
8.
wrestle at?
My junior, senior year, I was 125.
Okay.
And my freshman and sophomore year, I was 103.
Okay.
So like my freshman year, I went in, and this is back in Ohio. So like, and up there, the way they do it is Division 1 is the big schools. Division 2 is the intermediate, and Division 3 is like all the little country schools and little tiny Christian schools and all that stuff. So like Division 3 up there, like the top 3 to 5 guys that place at state are pretty solid, but like outside of that.
They probably go to wrestle collegiately too, I would assume, right?
Yeah, for sure. So we were in Division 1 of the 3, so the largest division in the state, and then the way they do it up there is no private division and then public division. So up there you have like these schools in Cleveland and Cincinnati that'll have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 kids enrolled, and they're a private school, and they're in Division 1 with you, and you're just a local school. And then like, oh, well, your city is like, oh, we can build 2 high schools, so we split. Now we're central and north. Yeah. There's none of this like just in Columbus, they split schools. In the other 2 major cities, they generally will just build onto them and make them big, and then those schools just have ridiculous. I mean, you have 2,800 boys, and you need 12 to fill a team.
Wow.
Stacked. So all of that. We were in Columbus in Division 1. My freshman year was the last year our school was still together, and then it split going into my sophomore year. So my freshman year was super stacked. We had 756 freshmen.
Wow.
In the school. So I come in, I was actually going to private school like 1st through 8th grade with like 75 kids in my grade. And it's like a Christian school. I got pulled out of that and put into 756 freshmen, 10 times the size, and it's public. So yeah, a little bit of a culture shock. And I'm pretty outgoing. I didn't talk to anybody for like a whole freaking year, dude. I was just like, what am I doing here? But I begged my parents to let me do it because I wanted to wrestle in D1, not D3. So, but anyway, my freshman year, I was in and out of the varsity lineup at 103, but I only weighed 108 to 110, so I wasn't cutting a lot of weight. I wasn't a very big, strong guy. I'm still not very strong at all for my weight. But anyway, I was kind of in and out my freshman year, but so the weights at that point were 3, 12, 19, 25. And it went up from there. When I was in 8th grade, the high school team had a state champion at 103 and the state runner-up at 112.
Wow.
So I go in as a freshman, and my 4-man group, when we wrestle and practice and we go live, I didn't wrestle in 8th grade, but I wrestled in 7th and as youth. So I knew what I was doing, but I hadn't done it the year before. Mm-hmm. I show up, and my 4-man group is me, Tony Ivan, who is now at 112. So we got 5th as a sophomore, 1st as a junior, and then 5th that senior year of his. Mm-hmm. He's the 12-pounder. The dude at 119 goes to state. And if you're a state qualifier in Division I, you are hammered. You would probably walk through states here. Wow. If you go to state in Division I in Ohio, you would definitely be a top 3 probably in this state in any division. Wow. Just because of the difference of anywho. But so, and then the 125-pounder was Josh Horn, who he ended up being, that was his sophomore year, he was state runner-up again. He was a state runner-up, state runner-up, state runner-up, state champ. So he was a 4-time finalist in D1. Just
I love that he finished his career, though, being a state champ. I mean, that would be...
That was a big thing, man. So to be a 4-time finalist and never win it, I don't think had ever happened. And he was going into that year, and he was favored to win it. But interesting thing was the guy that was his number 1 challenger was also from Columbus. And they were friends. And they worked at the same pizza shop. Oh, wow. And the guy also was my best friend when I was wrestling when I was a kid. So when I was 7, 8, 9, my dad and Mikey Davis's dad were good friends, and that's how we got into wrestling. He was like, man, you got to bring your son out to the west side of Columbus. We're doing this wrestling. And my dad's like, my kid is going to private school. There's no way I'm taking him to the west side of Columbus in a city school for wrestling. And then they started taking me out there, and those guys were freaking crazy. In that little travel squad that we did in youth, there were, in the summer times, we were working out in the softball team's locker room. They roll mats out there, and we would, it was the craziest thing. I didn't know anything else. I'm 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I'm
this you didn't know any better.
This must be wrestling. Yeah. These people are freaking nuts. I've seen 5th and 6th graders and 7th graders get so pissed that they literally take trash cans and just unbelievable stories I could tell. Yeah. Of the 22 or 24 of us that did that, I was probably the 4th worst one. Of the 22, 24, 11 kids that I did youth with placed at NCAA nationals in Division I, college.
Wow.
Before they were done.
See, I thought this story was going to go, of the 24 kids that were a part of it, 17 are now in prison.
Yeah, well, actually, 4 of them went to prison. Okay. So, yeah, Joey Dennis was, his dad ran the program, and he was one of those loose cannon kids at 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade.
And with all due respect to Coach Dodd and to Coach Jordan, and to you, and to young Jordan sitting over here, dude, wrestlers are crazy.
You have to.
I've covered prep sports since 1992. Would you believe when I graduated high school, they didn't have a wrestling program at my high school until the year I graduated. Okay. And like I said, I was a basketball and a track guy, but we didn't have wrestling there. And then after I graduated, North Wilkes High School, I don't know if you're familiar, they've won several state championships at the 2A level, though.
Yeah.
That's up in Northwestern
still our
North
level.
Carolina.
That's 2A is what North Lenoir is.
Yeah. So they've won several championships that I have absolutely zero to do with, but. Sure. But I love her. But wrestlers are crazy, man. I mean, if you had to put a craziness factor on student athletes at the prep level, I mean, you include football, baseball, girls softball, soccer. Now, soccer players are crazy too.
They're crazy, yeah.
Yeah. But number 1, wrestlers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Coach Jordan. Sorry, Coach Dodd. Sorry, you guys. But y'all know it's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got to have a little crazy in you to be above average, in my opinion, at that sport.
Yeah, I don't think you can be absolutely normal and then be successful in wrestling.
No. You gotta like being slammed just a little bit.
Yeah. And you gotta love slamming too. I mean, that's where you put to me, the best football players aren't the quarterbacks, aren't the running backs. It's the linebackers, who twitch a little bit when you look at them. They got that little bit of crazy. They've had 2 or 3 concussions.
Like the dude in Waterboy.
Yeah,
he was an actual football
Adam
player.
Sandler. Yeah.
No, but who was the other dude that was in Was it that or was it replacements? The dude that was like the crazy, like almost had the crazy eye linebacker dude.
I know who you're talking about, but
Can't
yeah, I
remember
don't think
which
that wasn't what. I think you're right. I think it was the replacements, but I love linebackers. That's my favorite position on a football field because that's where you put your best athletes. Other than of course, I mean, you got to have a good quarterback.
Skill
But I'm
players,
talking- yeah, but put your best athlete, your hardest hitter, and I love talking to football players, and I can tell exactly how crazy they are. And we've got a state championship game being played right here in Kinston this Friday night. Rendell Parrott Academy is playing for the 8-man championship.
Really?
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. You ought to come out there and see it.
Check it out. I haven't seen any 8-man.
It's awesome. And I did the same thing.
Fast.
I got here 20 years ago. I'd never seen an 8-man game myself, and I was always like, do you play 4-man basketball and 7-man baseball, and all that? But no, I'm telling you, man, we have the best program right here in Kinston, right over at the Rendell Parrott Academy. Matt Beeman, you need to get him on this show, dude. He's a heck of a guest, dude.
Yeah.
He is a really good guy. But yeah, state championship this Friday night at 7 o'clock. You can listen to myself and Hall of Fame coach Jimmy Smith.
On the call.
And Paul Woodington on the call, 960thebull.com, beginning at 5:30 with the Rillo Discount Drugs pregame show.
There you go. What time does that start?
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah, I talk for an hour and a half. We get coaches, and this week we're going to have athletes on too, and just have a blast with that. And then the Davis Wholesale Tire Game of the Week.
There it is.
Like I see,
I like this.
you're cashing all this in, right?
Yeah, I'm taking notes on how to do this successfully.
But on 960 The Bull, dude, if there's one thing, being a journalist for as long as I was, I always separated myself from that advertising department because you had to.
Right.
You had to. There's some other news agencies that need to learn how to do that because they do a horrible job. I mean, they marry their news side to their advertising side and pay to play. Hey, we'll run a story on you if you'll pay us some money. And so unethical, just ridiculously unethical.
Or just say that you're a for-hire writer.
Yeah, just say it out there and say that's what you are. But it's happening all over the place. It's ridiculous how sad that is, the state of journalism today. But once I got into radio, I'm no longer I talk about this on my show. I think I talked about it with you one time. I'm not a big J journalist. I'm not even a small J journalist anymore. Dude, I'm a talk show host. I mean, I get interesting guests on and talk to them and introduce them to my community. And then I talk about Rillo Discount Drugs and Lenoir Community College, Lenoir County Public Schools, and I'm not going to go through every one of my sponsors, but we've got about 20 sponsors right now,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and
Sweet. Who knew? Just by trying,
I could sell out, baby.
Yeah, that's right. At any point in time, he was just talking off camera about selling out for being on camera. So if anyone's really trying to make that happen, you shake that dollar, and you may just get this guy on video every morning.
But something I pride myself on though, Zach, and I mean this sincerely, and this isn't bullshit. This is the way I am. Look at my list of advertisers, and like I said, I'm not going to go through the whole list right now. I only have on, Jason will tell you, we've turned down a couple of advertisers because if I don't believe in what you do or if I don't use your person, Lovex Cafe, I know you're a big Steve Lovex guy.
Yeah.
Lovex Cafe, King's Restaurant, those are two of them. Chick-fil-A of Kinston are sponsors. If I don't believe in you, or if I think you're an asshole, or I don't want you to be a sponsor, we have turned down sponsors because I just don't want you to be a part of it. Yeah, I don't want to get on the air and say, oh, I love Jim Sprockets. Jim Sprockets, they're the best. And then get off there and be like, oh, they're so full of shit.
That guy's an asshole.
Exactly. I don't have those.
That's sweet.
I love it. And that's kind of the place I'm in right now with my life, and that I'm able to do that. And I make a pretty good living doing it too, and I love it. And again, thank you WRNS. Thank you Jason Bryant and Tony Denton and all my folks over at WRNS. They're very good to me. Yeah. They're very, very good to me, and I'm very appreciative of them.
That's sweet. That's definitely something that we're kind of feeling out. Sorry, I went ENC there. Something we're
feeling out.
Yeah, filling out. There's something we're feeling out with Big Bark Social is like, kind of like that too. Is like some people aren't the right fit for us.
Exactly.
And then like some people you can tell aren't going to be the right fit once they get to know us a little bit more. And it's like, no,
there are people in this market who will sell their soul.
Yeah.
And they will. I mean, they don't care. Whoever it is that writes a check, don't be that guy. And you're not that guy. I can tell you're not that guy, Zach. I mean, Junius is not that way with ANC Moments. I mean, I really appreciate what he does there. I mean, he's just like I am in that he has sponsors that he believes in or that also believe in him. And again, nothing against there's not a Jim Sprockets in Lenoir County, is there?
I don't know. We may have to start that company. Let's get a Jim.
I'm sending this to him.
Can you? Yeah, you're tagging him.
Yeah.
Can we get a Jim Sprockets T-shirt made?
That would be awesome. And you'll have me going, no!
Yes.
Say no to Jim Sprockets. Yeah.
Say no to Jim Sprockets, and it's just a caricature of Bryan Hanks.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
We're trying to get into that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Well, man, I think...
I hate to do this, dude. I love that. Tell me, will you have me back?
Absolutely.
I should be your first 2-time guest on.
We can do... Can we... Think we can do that? Have we sold that yet? Have we sold that?
We've mentioned it, but we have not sold anything.
We haven't sold the
We've
sponsoring
mentioned it
of
twice.
the first
Okay. You need to listen. You need to sponsor this show. If you're watching this right now, you absolutely need to sponsor this show. Small town businessman trying to do good by this community. Absolutely.
Appreciate it, man.
Clip that.
There you go. Well, definitely, if we do anything, we're clipping that. The whole episode might not hit it, but we're clipping that. He's got to get going. He's got to go catch this. What do you got?
Dontrez Styles.
Got the Dontrez Styles
from
coming
the
on.
University of North Carolina. Yeah, he'll be on the air. Well, this will already be after, but
Yep.
check it out on Tuesdays with Trez. Can I thank the sponsor of that?
Well,
King's Restaurant.
Yeah.
Joe
Oh,
Hargan,
yeah, Joe's
King's
fine.
Restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate Joe. He's okay.
Exactly. He's the sponsor of Tuesdays with Trez and helps us put some money in Don Trez's pocket.
No, that's sweet. And then, like you said, that's the first NIL deal of the Bryan Hanks show.
Yeah, it is. We're looking to do others. Probably, I haven't gotten in touch with Damian Dunn yet from Temple, but I'm probably going to do that. And then Isaac Parson and Jeremy Dixon up at Winston-Salem State
Nick?
too. Yeah,
Nick, maybe
Nick
next year?
Harvey. I talked to Big Nick about that, or Nick.
I've been
too.
trying to get in on that too. I just want him to wear like an additive shirt under his pads or something. Yeah, for like I'll take you to lunch once a month.
Dude, that's awesome. Nick is a good. You talking about a great young man too.
Yeah.
That whole family, man. That whole family is awesome. Yeah. Speaking of Nick, we might have to get you in on this. You know, Reggie Bullock. Oh, I hope I'm not getting in trouble by singing this with Nick. I hope, but Reggie Bullock and Brandon Ingram are playing each other January the 7th in Dallas, Texas. We're getting a little trip going. Nick and I are already in. I think Tad Parson is in.
Nice.
You want to go with us, man?
On that.
It's not as expensive as you'd think. We're going to spend the night there. We're going to fly to Dallas. We're going to leave that Saturday morning. We're going to go hang around Dallas a little bit. Donald Ingram, Brandon's dad, is going to be there too. We're going to have a little dinner that night and then fly back that Sunday morning. So just basically flying to Dallas and back. So you might have to get in with us, dude.
Sounds good. That sounds good. Maybe.
It's fun.
Yeah, definitely let me know when you get the details of that going on. And then, we'll try, I think me and you maybe really push on the folks over at Grainger, get us another kickball tournament, and maybe we just like combine teams so we can make sure that we both win.
Yeah.
Because no one else
You
can
and I will piss
touch us.
everybody else off then. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've,
And I want Jason Bryant's son again to heckle Scott.
yeah, I want to
Whittington,
get
okay?
Jason a dub,
Yeah.
I wanna get,
So you got to say that into the camera. That's awesome.
we do. I think that's the best way to make sure we get Jason the dub is just unite forces, and then we'll bring him together, and then, as long as he just lets me bunt, we'll be all right.
There you go. I
But,
like it.
all
I like it.
seriousness,
Hey, it's within the rules of the game.
That was my.
Y'all didn't
that
do
was-
anything that was illegal.
I know.
A little shitty maybe, but not illegal,
You should, favorite is the last thing I got. Favorite strength and conditioning coach in high school had a couple of sayings. One was, "You show me a cheater, I'll show you a winner." Another one was, "If you aren't cheating, you aren't trying."
That's a NASCAR thing too.
Which man, we can go on that too. We'll have to do it next time. And then the head coach used to always say, "You'd be like, hey coach, what are we doing in practice today?" And he'd go, "Well, boys, it's a good day to quit." And they'd be like, "Fuck."
You knew it was going to be a hard day that day.
It's going to be fun. But anyhow, that's episode 9 of the Kickin' It With show. This was Bryan Hanks, our guest. Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. It's my honor. Absolutely my honor. Okay.
Thank
you
you.
know, you got to reciprocate.
He'll
You
clip
have to
it.
reciprocate on the Bryan Hanks show now. Okay.
All day long. Shoot me the dates. We'll make it happen.
There you go. Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. 960 The Bull, 960thebull.com.
And SoundCloud. Boom.
And SoundCloud.